Welcome back to Monday's Anxiety. The chaos refuses to slow down. The fantasy playoffs are right around the corner and are just waiting to judge every choice we've made all season. And honestly, can we go ahead and put Shedeur Sanders in the Hall of Fame? Everybody out here was wrong about him. He's making sure we know it. And as he told us, I'm who they've been looking for. It's week 12. It's messy. It's hilarious. It's time to vent. Let's get into it. Welcome to the fantasy therapy session here on Club Fantasy FFL, better known as Monday's Hangxiety. We're going to start off with a little bit of news, coaching news. Chip Kelly gets fired.
Oh, fucking time.
Shane Bowen, 8 weeks too late, gets fired.
Yeah, that one was weird.
When I saw that Chip Kelly got fired, I really wanted to call Pete Carroll and go, is it easier to fire Chip than it is your son? I'm just asking for a friend. But that's beside the point. Don't forget, make sure you're dropping your comments into the chat. Drop those bright spots for us while you're down there dropping your comments. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following us on every platform out there, as well as in our Discord, as Ryan likes to say. It is 100% free. Josh will drop that into the chat for you guys. If you don't already have it, you are more than welcome to join us over there. Chat is popping off already, guys. Do we want to get right into the chat, or you guys want to talk a little bit about fucking week 12?
I kind of want to talk about Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already had one question. It's like, what does this mean for Brock Bowers? I'll bring it up from Keenan. I mean, look, I feel like Bowers was kind of corralled a little bit in the early part of the season because Chip Kelly loves to run 12 personnel. Yeah. And then, of course, the knee injury, misses the 3 games. Feel like he's kind of gotten back to at least more of a volume type of receiver. But I think this means more for Ashton Jeanty. Like, Pete Carroll spent a top 6 draft pick on a running back because he wants to run the fucking football. He doesn't want to drop back 30-something times with Geno Smith and throw it. This line is terrible. They have got to keep defenses honest and let Ashton Jeanty do what Ashton Jeanty does. Yeah. I think he was like, I saw a stat, I think it was before the Cleveland game, where it was, he's like 37th out of 38 ranked running backs in yards before contact.
Yeah.
Because he's getting hit so quickly. But he's like top 5 in yards after contact because of what he's able to do in breaking tackles. That is the epitome of the Raiders season right now. And I've never met a owner in the NFL or seen an owner in the NFL that burns money the way that Mark Davis does, who doesn't have money to burn, mind you. The amount of high-end coaches that he hires and brings in because he loves the splash and the name value and blah, 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 who ultimately are past their prime and don't do shit. Not saying that about Pete Carroll, but Chip Kelly never deserved $6 million a year as an offensive coordinator. Ever. He wasn't even that good with Philly or San Francisco for that matter when he was there. And then left for 10 years. Like, he wasn't getting any better.
And we talked about this. He doesn't work well with professional football players. And I pondered whether that had changed or not.
Nope.
But there was a lot of shit, and I'm not going to get into the whole story because I felt weird talking about it last time, but everything I said was right. But if you go look up Kelly's history with LaShawn McCoy, you learn a lot about Chip Kelly, the person. And putting it bluntly, pro athletes were never going to buy into his shit, plain and simple.
Well, that means he's not going back to college either because now
they're pro athletes now. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, what was nice to see with Ashton Jeanty is that he's, getting a lot of targets now as well. So
Absolutely.
he's
saving a season, honestly.
Well, yeah, 100%. 100%. Before we get into the chat, we may as well go ahead and get Ryan to recap yesterday, week 12. How would it look yesterday, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll start on Thursday. Texans surprised the world and beat the Buffalo Bills 23-19. We get into the Sunday games, and honestly, some of the best Sunday games we've seen in a while. 2 overtime games in the early slate. Chiefs 23, Colts 20 on a game-winning field goal. Seahawks 30, Titans 24. That game wasn't quite as close as it sounded, but Titans at least kept it competitive. Packers 23, Vikings 6. JJ McCarthy is terrible. Ravens 23, Jets 10, Lions 34, Giants 27 in one of my favorite games of the week. Bears 31, Steelers 28, Patriots 26, Bengals 20, a little bit closer than everyone thought that game was going to be. Shedeur Sanders gets W number 1, Browns 24, Raiders 10, Jaguars 27, Cardinals 24. That game also went to overtime. Cam Little's great. Cowboys 24, Eagles 21, Falcons 24, Saints 10, and Sunday Night Football, not great for Mr. J. Rams 34, Buccaneers 7. Week finishes up tonight. 49ers hosting the Carolina Panthers.
All right, that's all the Tampa Bay Buccaneer talk we're going to have for the day.
It's not actually, but that's okay.
It's not. Jesus God almighty. Josh, let's get to some of these questions and comments that are in the chat since we told them to put it in there. Wan'Dale Robinson at 106 next year, correct?
106. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. And it's Wan'Dale Robinson, baby.
I mean, that is a great pick there. We will talk about JSN and being the first to hit 2,000 yards here very, very shortly.
What I love about JSN, and you saw it on that first touchdown, is how much fun he's having doing this. Like, you went from where he hated his offensive coordinator and everything was terrible to this kid is just having a blast now. And it's so fun to see, especially since people were ready to write him off after a boring rookie year. So.
It's going to be interesting to see what, like, if this season with JSN, like if that's going to convince Kubiak to stay in Seattle, because he's going to get head coaching interviews after this. Like, I don't see how he doesn't. But you get some of these guys, like look at Cliff Kingsbury last year. Like he passed up some of these opportunities because, hey, I want to work with, Jaden Daniels, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe Cliff gets a couple more interviews this year because there's not a lot of like hot shot OCs that are going to be in that limelight. A lot of them are more defensive coordinator, head coaching candidates.
Yeah.
But because of the injury with Daniels, maybe he uses this as an opportunity to, to head out, basically.
You have to think the Giants are calling, and you might be leaving JSN, but you're going to Malik Neighbors. So.
Well, I got to ask the question. I mean, it's kind of a rhetorical here, but, Justin Jefferson made Sam Darnold a bunch of money, and now JSN's just adding on top of that. So it's
or
not.
Maybe Sam Darnold's not as bad as we all thought he was.
Well, and I think that's really what it boils down to. I mean, look, he went through his trials and tribulations, bouncing around. What is this, like his 15 now?
He was also very young when he came into the NFL.
Well, and that was my whole point. Like when he got drafted, I have this stigma of redshirt sophomores are going to bomb, plain and simple. They do not have enough seasoning. They do not have enough time in college, and you're expecting them to make a colossal leap from college to the pros. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Hats off to Sam Darnold for sticking it out, because it would have been very easy to whittle mentally and just take your, first round money and just be done with it. But he stuck it out and actually improved.
Yeah.
Hats off to him.
Yep. Zach down 11 with Kittle left, and his opponent has Tet left. He started with Gibbs.
I don't think Kittle's outscoring McMillan. So.
Nope. I have Ted as a top 10 wide receiver this week. I think you're taking the L there. I think Gibbs broke a lot of hearts yesterday.
I'm sure we will talk about this a little bit later, Ken, but how concerned are we with this Eagles offense? Listen, 21 points on the first 3 drives and blanked the next 7.
So look, Keenan, you've been following the show for a while. We're now week 12. I've been concerned about this offense for 11 weeks.
Yep. I'm pretty sure this was my first chill the fuck out or my first panic was.
Yeah, it is absolutely awful. And I've been talking with friends. Kira, one of our old contributors, she's a big Eagles fan as well. This team right now is playing not to lose.
Yep.
And this is what I go through as a University of Miami fan, and I'm fucking over it. I don't need this on Sundays too. Like, yes, we have a good defense. But A.J. Brown, and I've said it for weeks, he's not wrong. You cannot continue to rely on the defense to bail you out. Because when you play good offenses, it's going to bend, and eventually it's going to break. And that's exactly what happened. The game script from the first half to the second half was a complete 180. Jalen Hurts was doing everything that he wanted to do, everything that he needed to do to keep that team ahead. And then all of a sudden, they took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
It did not need to be a Sunday stroll for 60-year-olds in a fucking convertible. No. Pedal to the metal. This is one of the top 5 offenses in the NFL, the Cowboys. You need to bury them.
Yep. And Caesar wants to know, would you trade Waddle and Dowdle for JJ in a dynasty? Of course.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, no matter how you want to cut it, and Waddle has looked good this year, Justin Jefferson is still the better dynasty asset, plain and simple.
Honestly, if that's all it takes to get JJ, sign me the fuck up.
This is the definition of buy low. Think about what JJ would have cost you last year. We're talking multiple ones involved, and now you're trading a same age wide receiver who's a step down and a middle age running back who has 2 years left. So,
and that's what I was going to bring up. You're talking about, yes, he's as good as Dowdle has been. He's still 27 years old, 28 years old,
he has
whatever.
2 years left in this career. I mean, it is what it is, people. He has 2 years.
And he's also on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Next year may not be with the Panthers. Let's not forget, Jonathan Brooks is supposed to be the future there if he gets his shit right. So
he's got to get off IR first. Keenan wants to know, is Pickens a new wide receiver 1 in Dallas? Lamb keeps selling with his terrible drops.
If Lamb is not there, Pickens isn't doing what he's doing. That's the long and short of it.
So I was going to go that same route, but
I will go that same route. I don't care.
He was doing it when Lamb was out.
I'm with Jay here. I'm not going to call him the one. He's not the one, but I'm not going to disparage what he has done this season. George Pickens is getting down and doing exactly what we thought he was going to do. CeeDee Lamb still is far more talented.
He's doing in Dallas what we wanted him to do in Pittsburgh, and just a better situation.
Well, the problem was
they had no quarterback in the offensive situation.
Deontay Johnson walked, so Pickens had to be the one. Yep. He can't separate. You don't have to separate when you're facing cornerback twos. Yep. The world gets a lot different when there's no safety help and you're facing a CB2.
Yeah, and that's the long and short of it. He has a good quarterback. He has a legitimate wide receiver 1. He's not a true wide receiver 1.
Well, and he
is a 1B, which is what everybody said in the beginning of the season. And if you listen to us, I told you on draft day,
this was
Pickens
a very pro
is what Pickens you wanted when you drafted T. Higgins 3 rounds ahead.
Yep.
Who's been the better asset this year? George Pickens.
Oh, without a doubt.
100%. Third Eye wants to know, rank these guys, or who would you make more valuable in a PPR going forward? Jaden Reed, Keyshawn Boutte, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Josh stole my bit, you son of a bitch. I was going to go the old Chappelle show route. Like, let me give you the top 5 hottest PPR assets. Wan'Dale, and Wan'Dale. Josh, you bastard. Michael Wilson's close, but Josh and I pointed this out numerous times. It matters that Marvin Harrison isn't there and he's back next week. Yeah. So I don't hate him. I'm not buying in on this Jaden Reed comeback. I'm still holding him on a bunch of teams because I'm an asshole. But Reed and Booty and PPR are probably closer than I'd like to admit because as we saw yesterday, Drake May can still falter a bit.
You know, and this is something I heard this, and I want to give credit who said it, but I cannot remember, so I apologize. But Michael Wilson in this offense with Jacoby Brissett, without a Marvin Harrison, looks damn good.
Well, yeah. This is why they like it. This is why they weren't stressing to get that second wide receiver. Michael Wilson, they like him. He's good.
Yeah, 3rd round pick, right? Like, he's not a bum.
He's not a bum by any means. It's just the offense doesn't feature a second wide receiver. So, like, all these pundits that are like, oh, they need more wide receiver help behind Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, they have it. They just don't fucking throw him the football.
Well, but that's the problem with a quarterback like Kyler Murray, who doesn't throw the fucking football.
Well, that's the problem with their fucking offense.
Well, it's
terrible.
I didn't know where we were going to fit it in the show, but this feels like a time to say it. The fact Jacoby Brissett getting this like third chance, if you will, that kid, I've talked about this before, tumultuous start to his career, not really tumultuous, but weird start to his career. And then he bounces around and then he goes here and proves he's better than Kyler Murray. And the other thing I couldn't stop thinking about yesterday is the fact that Jameis Winston isn't a full-time starter in the NFL is doing the NFL a disservice. Jameis Winston should play every game, every season, plain and simple.
I saw somebody posted on Twitter about he should be on a NFL contract where he just starts for
wherever there's
whatever team needs a quarterback.
100%.
100%. And for his journey in the NFL to be arguably the most likable guy in the NFL right now is just wild. So shout out to Jacoby Brissett, a guy who I've always been a fan of and looks better every week, plain and simple.
Knuckle Buster says Pickens the number one for now.
Exactly.
Yes. Keenan says I need Purdy, CMC, Kittle to get under 72. Are my chances good?
Yeah, I think they're great. If we're talking just like,
I mean, CMC is going to get 30. So
I was thinking that too, Josh. I'm like, if we gave Purdy 20 and CMC 30, I don't think Kittle gets 22 in that game. I think he's all right.
Yeah,
I think you're all right here, Keenan.
Talking about defenses here, the New England Patriots got a pick 6, and their team as a whole, they only managed 10 points. Good real life defense, bad fantasy defense.
This is a situation though, and I bring this up when I talk defense a lot. Drake May did that defense no favors this week. He put them into some tough spots, and so that hurts things a bit. So,
yeah, as it was a rough weekend going there. Before we pause from the chat for just a minute, let's get into some of this show I say we, but Josh does so great putting these show sheets together. And this week, he just wants to talk about one fucking guy, the man of the hour, the man that's on the thumbnail. Josh, go ahead.
You know, I was going through and I was looking back at like all of our thumbnails from this season. Jahmyr Gibbs has had a baller season, and this is literally the first time that we've put him on the thumbnail to highlight him. But you know what? He earned it this week. 264 total yards, 11 receptions, and 3 total touchdowns, including the 69-yarder in overtime that propelled the Lions to a win over the Giants. 55.4 fantasy points this week. That is a new single game high for 2025, eclipsing what Jonathan Taylor did back in week 10. I said at the beginning of the season that I felt the Detroit Lions offense was going to regress. I said the only two that would be safe were Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. I've had some dumb fucking takes this year, but I'm standing by that one because I look like a fucking genius. But Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely balled out. He is, if not the best running back in the NFL, certainly the most dangerous running back in the NFL with the football in his hands. This is like peak Jamal Charles, LaShawn McCoy. Like, he's that style of running back. And those were the guys that I absolutely loved in fantasy. And it pains me that the only league that I have Jahmyr Gibbs in is Scott Fishbowl. But I want to say thank you because he put up 86.4 fantasy points, and I fucking needed it.
He changed the landscape of Scott Fishbowl this week, though.
Yeah,
most teams that had Jahmyr Gibbs probably were doing quite well anyway.
I paired him with Puka, so.
But when you really look at it, you mentioned if he's not the best running back, again, we've used the term running back when we truly mean running, but complete package, how is it not him? What he can do as a receiver, what he can just prove yesterday can do as a runner, taking it multiple, like him and Devon Achane are playing a different game than everybody else. They're playing peak Christian McCaffrey football. McCaffrey just can't do it anymore because he's too old to break those.
But he's still doing it.
He's not quite breaking the long runs that we're seeing
That's
from
fair.
Achane and Gibbs.
That's
but
fair.
They're doing like Jonathan Taylor can do it running, but he does not do receiving what we saw from Gibbs. As Josh pointed out, most fantasy points this season, 4th 200-yard rushing game this season. We've been spoiled. 11 receptions as a running back most this season. For Jahmyr Gibbs in week 12, something that I called last week, maybe the most important week of fantasy football. Your playoffs are on the line and 4 teams are on bye. Jahmyr Gibbs said, hop on my back. I'm either going to make your season or end your season, depending on which side of this matchup you're on.
Yeah,
so,
he faced Jahmyr Gibbs.
Pour one out.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so everybody knows I watch, I got like 4, sometimes 8, depending on how many games are being played at that particular time. So I'm kind of, not listening to any one of them as far as the volume goes. And I look up and I know what's going to overtime. And I see Jahmyr Gibbs take off, and I'm like, okay, that's a replay. Because
it looked like the exact same run from earlier in the game. You're absolutely right.
Correct. But because then they throw up the speedometer of 22 miles plus an hour, and now there's been 4 22-mile-an-hour runners this year. Gibbs has done it 3 times. Jonathan Taylor is the only other one to do it at 22 miles an hour running the ball. I swear to God, I thought that was a 100%.
All 3 of his touchdowns, long run touchdowns, looked exactly the same. So insane. Great job for him. Let's get back over to the chat. Absolutely got wrecked by JMO this week. JMO 0, J0. Yeah.
Freaking no doubt. Up 33, but against Kittle and Tet, full PPR. What are Nori's chances?
33 is fair. I'd call that 60-40 that you win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tight. I mean, again, it just kind of depends on the type of game that Kittle has, but I think McMillan should be between, I'd say probably like a high point is maybe like 22.
Yeah.
But
you
that's just because San Francisco gives up a lot to wide receivers. They're second most to wide receivers since week 7. But Carolina's defense has played really well. I'm curious to see how the cross-country trip sort of affects them, but I think Kittle could be held in check, truthfully. So it'll be tight.
Yep.
George planting his flag that Jefferson is cooked this season. Bring in anybody.
Max Brosmer apparently is who the world wants to see.
Yeah, and he's not even listed on their depth chart as of right now. So there is that. Keenan, Eagles OC has to be sweating after seeing Chip Kelly get fired.
One can only hope. Yeah. One can only hope.
Did y'all didn't fire Brian Johnson early, right? No, because he ended up getting a job, right?
No, we fired him at the end of the season. And that's the thing is I don't think Patullo's going anywhere. It's basically going to come down to Patullo is Nick Sirianni's guy, plain and simple. Like, they've been together for years, going back to Indianapolis. He's not going to get fired in the middle of the season. But what's going to happen is if we have the same thing that happened 2 years ago, the season in between the Super Bowls, where Howie Roseman has their end of season conversation with Sirianni, and it's just like, this ain't it.
Nope.
Like, then Sirianni's hand is going to be forced, plain and simple. That's what's ultimately going to happen. We're stuck with Patullo. I hate to say it, but I know this team.
Who's the bigger bust? Saquon, JJ.
I mean, if you listen to us, we told you. I told you Saquon was not going to do what Saquon did last year.
I was going to say.
So you would have avoided him altogether. I'm going to go JJ.
I'm going to agree because the narrative into this season was that Justin Jefferson was QB proof. Apparently not.
Yeah, look, and this is what I kind of said like halfway through the season. For as good as DeAndre Hopkins was, he didn't do shit with Brock Osweiler. He was great with everybody else. But that one season in Houston with Brock Osweiler, he had under 1,000 yards. Not every wide receiver is QB proof. Justin Jefferson has been great.
He may be QB proof. He's just not JJ McCarthy.
Well, I understand that, but and I know there's another comment in the chat about, could we potentially see JJ McCarthy get the Josh Rosen treatment? If he continues to look the way that he looks,
they have to.
They might.
You can't waste Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, plain and simple.
Nope. Especially after you gave Justin Jefferson $35 million a year.
And let Sam Darnold walk.
Yep. Speaking of JJ McCarthy, have the scouts lost their touch?
Look, QB is the hardest position to scout.
But didn't we say this about him in college? Like, he didn't appear to be that good. He was with Harbaugh in Michigan, and it didn't seem like they wanted him to throw the ball either.
You're not wrong. Like,
I mean, look at all the Alabama and Georgia quarterbacks that come in that are just game managers that get carried by good defenses.
yeah.
Okay.
How many of them have done anything in the NFL? How many of them have been first round picks?
Mac Jones, JJ McCarthy. Which one?
Well, Mac Jones, clearly. You know.
Well,
but again, like that's kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, you look at the Stetson Bennett's, you look at the obviously Matthew Stafford's going way back before like the defenses got really good, but like the Greg McElroys, you know, those types of quarterbacks that came through those programs, they were never anything in the NFL. They were mid-round picks at best. But then it sort of became, well, if everybody else is good, the quarterback's got to be good. So then they keep getting elevated. Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, JJ McCarthy, whatever. I mean, it's just like they become products of the system, so to speak, right? And I think that's really what it came down to with JJ McCarthy. You can have it up here, but if you don't have it physically, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
That is fair.
He's the epitome of a good interviewer with poor performance.
Yeah.
And then George is the one that brought up your comment about the Josh Rosen treatment there. Steve, what are we doing with the Buccaneers backfield? This team is a mess with the Baker news. It's
rough now.
Yeah.
All the people who've been holding Bucky Irving are heartbroken right now.
Yeah, the timing could not be worse, let me tell you.
Yeah, especially with all the reports that he's back in week 13, and now there might be a QB issue.
And real quick, before we go on to any other questions, I do want to bring this up from George. There's a good chance that Mac Jones probably does get traded simply because teams are going to be thirsty for a quarterback.
Yep.
This is a similar system. Kevin O'Connell and Kyle Shanahan. I would not be surprised one bit if the Vikings call about Mac Jones because, yes, Justin Jefferson would be cooking with Mac Jones.
Yep. I just wonder if the Niners are going to try to force him into the AFC.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
But you see this all the time. Like, teams will trade with people that they're familiar with. Not necessarily maybe not in division, right?
No. Yeah.
Like,
unless you're Cleveland.
Well, yeah. But hey, they got their quarterback of the future, right?
Let's be clear here. It's while Cleveland did fantasy managers a favor, they did not do the Bengals a favor. Let's be clear. The Bengals still fucking suck. So.
Yeah, that is fair. Let's move over to the unnecessary shots. Rumplements, the injuries of the week. I'll give you the list and let you guys talk about them. T. Higgins, concussion protocol. Alvin Kamara, knee. Sounds like he's getting an MRI today. Baker, fucking Mayfield, shoulder. From the reports that I see, it could be a 1 week, 2 week injury. It could also be season ending. There is an MRI scheduled for it today as well. Aaron Rodgers should be back next week. And then
I had to add this one.
Don't normally talk about the offensive lineman, but we have to. Will Campbell suffered an MCL sprain, possibly going to the IR. Josh?
Protect Drake May at all costs.
Got to.
This is a big blow, not only for Drake May, but everybody else on that offense. But I think we need to talk about Baker Mayfield straight up because this is the most impactful injury, in my opinion. The passing offense has sputtered of late anyway. The ground game has been suspect. The offensive line play has regressed, even with Tristan Wirfs in the lineup. I mean, if you have Emeka Egbuka, if you have Tez Johnson, if you have Cade Otton, if you're counting your chickens, hoping for Bucky Irving to be anything, you have to be legitimately worried because Teddy Bridgewater just belongs in Progressive commercials right now.
I mean, I don't have much to add.
I'm praying. That's what I'm doing.
I always like Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know that this is the type of team that he's going to be able to come in and save if they need him to. But the much bigger issue is I don't know that they're good enough that they can come out now and just change their game plan to be a 30 rush, 20 pass team and still win football games. So
no. There is no. I don't think they're good enough.
I'm trying to be nice.
No, there is no. I think they're not good enough. No, they are not good enough. They have multiple holes. I talked about this a little bit last week, but the holes got even bigger this week.
The winner of the NFC South is no better than 9-8.
No, they are.
It could very well be 8-9. Honestly, the winner.
And they're out quick.
The winner of the AFC South will be playing tonight.
You mean the NFC South?
That's what I meant. NFC South. The winner of the NFC South will be playing tonight in prime time.
If the Panthers make the playoffs after the shit talking I did on this team.
I got to bring up Millie's comment just because he's a Falcons fan. He calls the Panthers the panties. I fucking love it.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Real quick question. I want to bring this up because it's Alvin Kamara. We saw what they did, with Tyler Shuck and Devin Neal yesterday, getting, bad game script because they're playing from behind all game. But Devin Neal got a fucking shit ton of passes, unlike this guy Alvin Kamara all season long.
Yep.
I know you guys will be.
They need to see. Look, I like Devin Neal. I thought he was great at Kansas, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, this is evaluation season for bad teams. Like, you need to see what you have in these players. Devin Neal, 2.6 yards per carry, not great. But yeah, 7 targets, 5 catches, 43 yards. He was a do-it-all kind of running back at Kansas. He has a 3-down skill set. It's the same thing with Ollie Gordon. This was a very deep class. That's why good running backs fell to the later rounds. I would not bet against Devin Neal usurping this RB2 role, potentially even the RB1 role, depending on what Kamara's role is going forward. Yeah. Like, they need to see what they have, and this is the prime time to do it. I don't know if Kamara misses any time, but this is why we were talking about they should probably just trade him at the deadline. But he was already giving off the vibes that if you trade for me, I'm just going to go sip pina coladas. Like, he wants to be in New Orleans. So that's always going to hamper the ceiling of whoever the 1B or the RB2 is in New Orleans anyway. But again, bad teams are evaluating rookies, plain and simple. That's what they're doing.
No reason to rush Kamara back, but unfortunately, in that division, if you reel off 5 good games, who knows what can happen. So.
Well, and then Hoove chimes in, like Taysom Hill giving 10 carries that game.
Yeah.
This is what happens when Taysom Hill is on your roster. You cater to him, and I have zero idea why.
Yep.
100%. The only reason I wanted to bring that up is I also wanted to go ahead and hit for tomorrow morning. I'm sure Devin Neal will be talked about tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. over on.
Might be the lead of the damn article.
Might be. Let's get back over to the chat real quick. Does Tet score 11.13 tonight so I can beat Josh in Dynasty?
Yeah, probably 12.13.
12.13. So
I thought I lucked out because I think this is the OG Club Fantasy Dynasty League. I thought I lucked out because Baker went out early, but I think he has McMillan too. And I'm like, fuck. That's what I get for benching fucking AJ Brown right after I trade for him too.
Go, Chris.
Fuck you.
Go, Chris. Yeah, because Josh kicked my ass this week in another league.
Bro, you didn't even start a quarterback.
Well, it's not that I didn't. It's not that I didn't. We put it out there last week. I didn't have a quarterback to start. Both of my quarterbacks are on bye. I go to look at the waiver wire and it's fucking Billy Sims or some shit. Yeah. Tom Brady's on there. Sure. Ben Roethlisberger's on there. Can we get Sleeper to fucking update their players? They're retired, Sleeper. Scott says Lamb will go off this week against Kansas City. We thought the same thing this week.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, look, Pittman actually had a good game.
What's that?
Pittman had a good game against Kansas City.
How good was? I know he scored a touchdown. I didn't see his box.
Scored a touchdown. It was like 5 for 27 and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't think he had a good game at all.
Yeah, but they're two completely different types of players too. Lamb's mostly gonna run out of the slot. He'll be just fine.
Alec Pierce is an absolute dud. Train was gonna stop at some point.
Yeah.
Again, Casey's got a good defense.
I just want to throw out there. CeeDee Lamb is great, but Josh said, he's going to run out of the slot. the slot wide receivers for the Colts, but Josh Downs 2 for 10. The Chiefs are good.
Okay, Josh Downs, CeeDee Lamb.
I know. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is the wide receiver too.
Stop.
What does Wan'Dale do with Dart back next week?
The same fucking thing.
Yep.
I'm really not
remotely concerned. The one thing I will say, hopefully the team learned and hopefully Jackson Dart learned. Wan'Dale Robinson can do shit up the field as well. And there were some really nice passes from Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been fast. Like, that's never been an issue. It's just, the way that the concepts were in Brian Dable's offense, the slot receiver was never getting downfield. That's why Jalen Hyatt never fit in this offense, because he's a downfield threat who runs out of the slot.
Yep.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to add in. It's not Ryan Daboll calling the quarterback runs to get his guy a concussion.
Yeah, so at least I am curious to see what Kafka does, like how he adjusts to having Jackson Dart back.
Look, you still have to have, let Dart be Dart and run some, but you can't run him up the gut 5 times in a row.
No, I agree.
I mean, I'm telling you, assuming Dart was able to learn from these 2 games, I think this might have been one of the best things to happen to Jackson Dart, because you got to see a non-Russell Wilson quarterback run this offense. So.
Speaking of Russell Wilson, did y'all watch the beginning of the overtime where Russell Wilson was the one that went out for the fucking coin flip? Yeah. What the fuck was that?
It's an honorary captain.
Yeah. I did make a wish kid.
I did notice that he still had the C on his chest. Whatever. Trone 7-5. I've already won the week. I still have to. I still have going tonight. Awesome. I also have most points in the league. Hope I can be a top 6 of the 12 and make the play.
Another case for median scoring.
Yep.
100%. I think every league that Josh and I are in is median scoring, except for the.
No. Well, maybe not. No, the new Dynasty League, Jay, that we just joined, that one's not median scoring.
I was gonna say, no league that Ryan commissions is median scoring. So.
I wasn't a proponent of it, but now I am 100%. After
I have a feeling
it's wearing on me now after the last few years of Scott Fishbowl.
I think probably for the flex league and for the listener league, I think median scoring makes us a lot of sense for those 2 types of leagues. So 100%. Maybe next year.
Scott, Kyler Murray, the starting quarterback in 2026 for the Jets.
Yeah, there you go. From Justin Fields to Kyler Murray, you can just keep going one quarterback at a time, ending their careers.
Well, I mean, it's really going to boil down to, look, you're going to have half the league that's going to be searching for a quarterback. It's the same thing every season.
Yeah, there's a market for Kyler Murray.
There's going to be a market. It's just going to depend on how the contract plays out. Like, I mean, he's still slated to make $50-some-odd million, but are the Cardinals going to straight up cut him? Are they going to waive him? Are they going to trade him? Like, there's going to be nuances to a deal, and ultimately it's going to depend on what teams can fit him under the cap.
I need Dowdle under 21 tonight in a PPR. What do you guys think?
I think closer than you want it to be, but I think you're fine. Yeah, I was going to say it might be a sweat.
Yeah, since week 7, San Francisco allows only 82 yards rushing to running backs.
There you go.
Per game.
Good call on the Rams defense, Josh. Yeah, they 2 interceptions, 7 points allowed.
Look, anytime I get a defensive call right, I will take the hat tip. So thank you, Zach.
Yeah, I don't even know. Did you send that one to Ryan to get permission?
Nope.
Actually, I think it came up on a show and we disagreed.
It could very well be.
Yeah,
I need CMC under 50, and I'm still not certain of a victory.
Oh wait, I'm thinking yards. I'm like, you're fucked, but you need points. But you're still not wrong. CMC saw what Gibbs did yesterday, and he's going to be like, hold my beer.
Yeah. One more. Kendall, what a weird game for Kenner Williams last night. Yeah, I needed 62 yards, and I knew after the fucking second touchdown that I wasn't getting that because they were just going to sling the ball all over Tampa's D.
I'm telling you, I noticed a change. I've seen not as much of the Rams that Chris Molina has, but I feel like I've noticed a change where this Rams team inside the 10 was just give the ball to Kyren Williams, and they are not doing that now, and it's strange. So.
He's so funny last night after Devontae.
Why give it to Kyren Williams when you can just throw it to Devontae Adams?
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad based on half.
I was going to say that was my whole call with Devontae. All those vacated red zone targets, they were going to Devontae. They weren't going to Puka.
Yeah, you don't need a tight end when you have Devontae Adams. So.
Yeah.
And yet they still throw
most touchdowns by a wide receiver in the league is Devontae Adams right now. And I mean, you saw his stat line from last week: 1 catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. It didn't get much better this week. I mean, he had 62 yards, but only 5 catches and 2 touchdowns. So whatever. Who is this Puka Nacua that you speak of? Let's get over to the hangover, the disappointment of the week. I'll give you a list. You guys can go with whoever you want to. Jordan Love. Who is this Jonathan Taylor guy? Kyron Williams, DeAndre Swift, sucks. Justin Jefferson, bad at football. Stephon Diggs, Emeka Ibuka, he's also bad at football. Jameson, the goose egg himself. Williams, Jordan Addison, another goose egg again. And Mark Andrews. Josh, let's let you start it off.
I wanted to highlight Xavier Worthy. I was kind of higher on him heading into the season. It wasn't quite as high as some people.
Yeah.
That put him in the top 5. And yes, there are plenty of receipts on that. But the way that he's being used right now, I don't get it. Like, the whole point in spending a first-round pick on a guy that has blazing speed, what are we doing? Like, Andy Reid, you know how to use speed. You had Deshaun Jackson. You had Jeremy Maclin. You had Tyreek Hill. And yet all you want to do is throw underneath crossing routes to Rashee Rice. Like, is there something in Xavier Worthy's development that isn't there yet? Because I don't get it. Like, he's averaging only 8.7 fantasy points per game this season. He has only 1 game so far this year where he's been over 11.1 fantasy points, and that was all the way back in week 2. 4 of his last game, 4 or 5 games that he's played with Rashee Rice, he's been under 10 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And the high mark was 10.3 fantasy points. He's like a nobody in this passing offense, which is crazy to me considering the games that Hollywood Brown has put up, the games that Tyquan Thornton have put up. And Worthy's not seeing any of that kind of production. I kind of feel like the rest of the season, if you've been relying or waiting for this breakout from Xavier Worthy, especially in the current iteration of this Chiefs offense, you're not getting it.
All right. So I got to be careful what I say here because I don't remember if I was allowed to say anything. So I don't have sources, but I am friends with important people who do have sources. And someone who everyone on this show trusts and everybody listening to the show would trust heard from a Kansas City reporter that Xavier Worthy is not healthy and will not be healthy for the rest of this season. Do not expect anything from him is basically what this person said. Just throwing that out there. Josh is 100% right reading this. It may not be development. It may be injury, but regardless, he cannot see your lineup in fantasy football.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better for my final point, which was it has me concerned long-term for Dynasty. But if you're telling me that he's hurt and that's where a lot of this is coming from, all right. I won't, sell low on Worthy.
Going into the game, he was questionable, right?
Yeah.
With an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But and I know your source because his sources are his 2 eyes, and he'll tell you that.
Like I said, where I got told it, I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything publicly, so we'll just leave it at that.
That's very, very, very fair. Ryan, let's jump over to your guy.
Yeah, Billy. So when I do the list, I leave the people out who we're actually going to talk about, and so we didn't forget Lamar Jackson. Trust me, Lamar Jackson is a big concern right now, and this all kind of stemmed for me. I had a person ask yesterday, Daniel Jones or Lamar Jackson in one of my start sit questions. And I was polite about it, but I'm like, it's not like Daniel Jones isn't a high risk player. Lamar's going to be fine. And the person specifically said, I don't believe Lamar is healthy. And I haven't watched Lamar enough to know how right they were. The largest concern for me with Lamar Jackson is the fact that he is not running the ball for shit right now. Over the last 2 weeks, Lamar Jackson has 11 carries for 21 yards. He's not averaging 2 yards a carry, Lamar Jackson. And then you throw in those same games, 0 passing touchdowns, 0 rushing touchdowns. This guy hasn't thrown for over 250 yards since week 3. for fantasy purposes, how do you ever start Lamar Jackson? Like, as of now, if your season is on the line, I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson cannot be a part of your starting lineup. He's not throwing the ball. He's not scoring touchdowns, and he's getting you 0 rushing upside. That used to be his saving grace. At least I knew I was getting 5 points on the rushing side of things. That was going to boost everything else. I'm not getting that now. I am perfectly fine with saying Lamar Jackson against the QB 11 to QB 20. You may want to go with the other guy.
He's currently QB 12 in fantasy points per game at 18.4. That is a very un-Lamar Jackson kind of season right now.
Yep.
And I agree. I don't think he's healthy either. I think the hamstring, he's powering through. I think he's trying not to overextend himself because it's a hamstring and they're very ticky-tacky.
So there was a play yesterday, Josh. It was the play where he sailed the ball to Mark Andrews on the right sideline at about the 30-yard line. I have never seen a more open running path for Lamar Jackson. I was like, oh, my man's about to cook for 25 yards right here, probably score a touchdown. He didn't even think about running. I watched the entire play. I had my eyes on him the whole time. He never considered running and then sailed that ball to Mark Andrews.
And it's weird to me too. Like, I don't know if like outside pundits are finally starting to like seep in as well about, oh, well, you're just a running quarterback and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, considering what he did last year as a passer, he still couldn't win MVP, which again, he was the best player last year. Let's be honest. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe it's an injury thing, but regardless, it's not a good thing for fantasy right now.
Terrible.
Well,
I want to bring up real quick George's comment here because I think it plays right into it. And he's like, maybe outside of Josh Allen this season, it's not worth paying up for an elite quarterback. And you know what? How often have we been preaching this here at Club Fantasy?
This has been our gimmick, and this is no slight at our good friend Joel Wirth, who wrote an article saying that Lamar Jackson and was up there with Josh Allen. It's been a weird season for Lamar, but the fact of the matter is this: there is a gamble, and even if Josh Allen, other than a few weeks ago,
was pretty average.
QB1, but he was the average QB1. Like, to me, the opportunity cost when you can wait, and George gives some names, but like, I'll use the example we gave all last year, and you have examples like this every season. Jaden Daniels was a revelation last year. To an extent, Baker Mayfield was a revelation last year. This year, because of the injuries, I don't know that we have a revelation, but
no, there's a revelation. It's simply and Lindsey Rhodes brought it up on Saturday's Start Sit Show. The importance of being able to throw the football.
Yeah.
Because you do not have any dominant rushing quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
And this is what I continually preach when it comes to fantasy. You can run all you want, but what happens when those rushing yards aren't there? And we're seeing it play out in 2025.
Yep. And I agree with what George has said there, because I was going to bring it up as well. I mean, you could have held out and Sam Darnold 6 rounds later, than what you're.
Matt Stafford was free. Matt Stafford was not being drafted in QB leagues.
Daniel Jones wasn't being drafted. And now I know Daniel Jones has come back to earth here a little bit, but for the first 7 weeks or so of the season, I mean, untouchable.
But I mean, even Dak Prescott was going in like the bottom half of the QB1s, right? Like, you're talking rounds 10 through 13. Matthew Stafford was undrafted. Like, there was plenty.
Let's be
Sam
clear.
Darnold undrafted. Like,
I'm forgetting my favorite quarterback, and obviously he came down to earth like crazy 2 weeks ago. Justin Herbert was free in drafts and was leading the NFL, may still be, in QB rushing yards.
I'll tell you here in a second.
In fucking sane. Paying up for a quarterback.
No, Justin Fields is. Josh
Fields
Allen 371, Herbert 345.
Okay.
But again, we're 11 games into the season, 12 for some people, and the QB high in rushing yards is 383, and that guy's been.
That used to be the minimum that made a guy viable. That's the high now.
Yeah, right.
For the second week in a row, I'm going back to the well here. It's Tampa. We knew the Bucs were going to have a rough matchup, but damn.
Jay's world is collapsing around him.
9 of 19, 41 yards. Yes, he did get the TD, threw 2 interceptions. He gets injured. And what do we do for the head coach? We fucking put him back in the game to throw a 70-yard fucking bomb, or try to throw a 70-yard bomb. As the resident Buck fan, I owe everyone another heartfelt apology. At this point, every primetime game that we're in feels like you're dragging that one. Everybody has this friend that you drag to the party with you, and you're always, it's the human tornado, the walking red flag to say, and then you're always, I promise he's usually not like this. And then right on fucking cue, he starts breaking stuff, yelling at people, knocking drinks over, and somehow setting off fire fucking alarms, and nobody's cooking in the house. Yeah. This is just ridiculous. Sorry. Yep, that guy's with me. He's with me. And he's the Buccaneers. The Bucs primetime. We show up on national TV, immediately tip over our own shoelaces like we've never played football, and collectively decide that, hey, millions are watching. Let's make this weird. As if it's not weird enough that we're fucking on primetime anyway with a shitty-ass team. So I'm here to once again apologize for the chaos, the nonsense, and whatever the fuck that was we watched last night. Congratulations to the Rams. I love my team, but good fucking Lord, this is hard to
it's rough.
Watch.
I just want to point out, for as bad as the Eagles were yesterday, I did not plan any complaints on this show.
You don't have to. The difference is you scored touchdowns.
Yeah. If I had lost in my home league, this whole show was going to be me talking to Josh about AJ Brown because I was not very happy.
Honestly, I was really surprised he was able to do that. Truthfully,
yeah, I
they made a concerted effort and they said, "Look, he's our most dominant offensive player." Like,
I benched him,
and I feel bad because I told quite a few people that AJ Brown was not it this year or this week.
I told other people that for advice they were giving me, but at least I quoted you every time, so
that's okay. I'll take the heat. I've been wrong before.
I benched him in one league, traded him in another. Didn't get
Hey, I at least traded for him and started him in a league.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Kendall says Emmanuel Wilson held it down yesterday. I don't mind Josh Jacobs sitting again to rest for the fantasy playoffs. They do play on Thursday. This
definitely wasn't an efficient game, that's for sure. But
so I'm going to throw out there though.
So
this is something that Austin Amendolia, my co-host on our DFS show, talks about all the time. I opted to not put Emmanuel Wilson into my cash lineup, and everybody who didn't, first of all, Jahmyr Gibbs won every cash lineup ever. But my God, if you had Emmanuel Wilson at that cheap dollar amount, it worked out a lot better for you than it did for others. So don't be afraid to make those pivots to those running backs on Sunday morning.
And don't be afraid to pay up for the top dude in the league, right?
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was going off. The script was written on that one.
All those sharps got the touchdown K9 usage ramped up. Super excited. But he's been on the bench all year.
Yeah.
The usage is finally getting there. I mean, we talked about this on Saturday, like, because we liked Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet was going to steal the touchdowns.
Just throw out there, Walker had a non-concerning glute injury, so I was not surprised that they took him off the field inside the 10s. That will not be the norm, and he'll be fine.
God, I hope so.
George wants to know if the Vikings don't change at quarterback, where are you drafting Justin Jefferson next year?
He's probably a 4th round pick. It's crazy. Now that's where I'm taking him. He'll probably end up going in the 3rd round. I'll tell you what, the most telling episode, if you guys give us, where are we at? Give us 5 more weeks when we do our way too early mock draft. You're going to
Well, we usually do it after the Super Bowl.
Well, we did one last year to end the season, and then we did another one after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So.
Yeah.
What else is going to be interesting is see where not just the fall of Justin Jefferson, but the rise of some of these other players directly after the season as well. Millie Mills, yes, that Rams defense is something serious. What's funny is last night, I know you guys watched a little bit of it. If you didn't see it, it was Darnold's bobblehead that night.
Aaron
Donald's bobblehead night. And they had Jared Verse working out with Aaron Donald, and Jared Verse said, "No, I'm not fucking working out with that man."
Nope, you make me look bad.
That is a fucking animal. Like,
yeah, it was insane. Could you tell me Jameis Winston wouldn't be better in Vegas?
You don't have to convince this show of this. Every QB spot that came up, all we would say is get Jameis Winston in there.
If anything, he'll be fun, plain and simple. Yeah, and honestly, like the NFL is a business. If you're losing games, you better be entertaining to watch.
I'll be honest.
Jameis makes things entertaining.
I like Jameis the person too much. I don't know that I want him in Vegas. Too much can go wrong there. Let's keep him out of.
I think he's matured enough.
I think
he got into trouble in Tallahassee of all places. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like you can't find plenty of trouble in New York City.
Yeah. My point. So he's grown up a lot.
I think he has grown up a lot.
I think so too.
But yeah, if you were the Jameis manager yesterday, the roller coaster ride that you were on yesterday was,
and that's the other thing too, is that the Giants signed him to a multi-year deal. Like, he's going to be another quarterback that teams might be calling about. But if you're the Giants, why trade him?
Zero. If I am the Giants, if you're not giving,
I want him behind Jackson Dart.
Top 3 draft capital, zero chance I'm moving.
Yeah, and I was just fixing to say that, Josh, because we saw the immaturity of him both in college and with Tampa, and then as he went to New Orleans, grew a little bit there. Now, of course, the Cleveland deal.
He's the absolute perfect mentor for Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart coming out of Utah, hasn't done.
No, Dart was in Ole Miss.
No. Yeah. He was born and raised in Utah.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Okay.
So he comes from that background where there's not a lot, and now he's in the big city of New York. There's so many temptations, and having somebody like a Jameis Winston to lean on or to get the advice from, hey, don't make that mistake. I already made it. This is what's going to happen.
Yep,
is absolutely huge, and
he's definitely the fun uncle in that QB room.
Quincy,
100%. Quincy sitting here at 12, and
love to hear it.
Let's fucking go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Millie Mills, let me find out that. We already talked about this, and they take over the lead tonight once they win. Does Bucky save the Bucs season?
No. I don't think anything's saving the Bucs season right now. No, sorry, Jay. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I like Bucky. He's good. But you still need somebody to push the ball downfield, and that's never been Teddy Bridgewater's calling.
You also need defense.
The facts are the facts, Josh. I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I traded away Amika, Abuka, and RJ Harvey for JSN.
Congrats, Niori. That is massive win.
You want to talk about just absolutely smashing.
Perfect timing, too.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about Abuka later. So.
Yes, we will. Let's get over to the shot of Espresso. Performances we were happy to see. I'll highlight a few of these guys. Honorable mentions, of course, Jameis Winston, QB1 on the week. Jalen Hurts, QB2 on the week. Dak Prescott, QB3 on the week.
Yeah, right.
Emmanuel Wilson, Ashton Genty, Kareem Hunt, Kenneth Gainwell, George Pickens, A.J. Brown, welcome back.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, welcome the fuck back. Yeah. Michael Wilson, Jahmyr DK, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange.
That's a welcome back right there.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game, but for that to be his first game back, he deserved to make this list. So
I agree. And you know what? Ashton Genty was so good, he got his offensive coordinator fired.
They're like, we can't keep wasting this kid. What is going on here?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. I want to start with, honestly, I'm going to talk about the 2 rookie quarterbacks. I want to start with Cam Ward because he's been shit on so much this season. By every metric, he has been one of the absolute worst starting quarterbacks, not only this year, but in NFL history for rookie performances. But you know what? He was QB4 on the week and actually outscored Matthew Stafford in fantasy this week. Again, not a sexy performance by any means. 256 passing yards, only 1 passing touchdown, but he adds 37 and a rushing touchdown on the ground. Easily his best performance of the year. 75.1 QBR. Yeah. That is really good. It took a lot to get there. He threw the ball 42 times, but again, they were down all game. Like, they needed to throw the football. But he's not afraid to scramble to keep drives alive, and he led this team in rushing, which goes, again, to show you how completely wrong, at least I was, about Tony Pollard this season. Holy crap. Yes, the Titans lost, but they made strides. They were competitive. Yeah. They did not give up, and that's what you want to see.
No wide receivers.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like, DK was not drafted to be a wide receiver. He was drafted to be a punt returner.
Yep.
Manor was out this week. Calvin Ridley's done for the season. They finally brought up my boy Xavier Restrepo. I don't think it's a coincidence that Cam Ward has his best game of the season with his best friend finally being active for the game.
They need to go trade for Elijah Arroyo.
Right? My point here is give this kid some competent coaching. I am keeping my eye on this Titans team heading into 2026. How are they going to surround him with some level of competent coaching? Yeah. We saw it last season with Caleb Williams. We've seen it in the past with other top picks that ultimately get Bryce Young, another example. They fire their head coach, they're middle of their rookie season, and bring in someone else to supposedly fix the mechanics, the performances, all this kind of stuff.
And now they're going to win their division.
Yeah, right.
Brian, enough.
The seeds are there for Cam Ward. Like, you can see he's got that it factor. I'm not saying he's going to be some superstar quarterback. I'm not saying that he's going to be a top 10 fantasy asset. But if you're telling me that he could be a top 15 guy, this is somebody that I'm paying attention to, especially in Dynasty as a QB2. But he's somebody that can be a streaming option if things start getting going beginning in 2026. And that's really what I'm talking about with Cam Ward. And I wanted to bring that up because I feel like everybody has been shitting on him because the Titans have been so bad.
100%.
The other quarterback I want to bring up, because we got to mention it, it's Shedeur Sanders. Hats off. I mean, look, it was so easy to bag on this kid for what he did in relief last week with quite literally zero preparation, completing 25% of his passes, only throwing for 49 yards. They put together a game plan for him not to lose this game. Yep. And quite frankly, when you're going against the Raiders, that should work.
What you got?
And it did. And it helps when your defense has 10 sacks, right? That is Shedeur Sanders' game. He's not going to be a world beater. He is a game manager, plain and simple. But he made some throws that really make you question why in God's name was Dylan Gabriel starting for this team? Because Dylan Gabriel ain't making those throws.
I have a theory. So before the season, they said that they wanted this to be Shedeur's redshirt year. I personally think they were tanking for a better pick and that they knew they were moving on to Shedeur next year and wanted to get him one more good player. Just a thought. I think it was a bad decision, but I think they knew he was the better of their three.
I mean, at the end of the day, they've got 2 first round picks anyway.
Yep.
You're going to get 2 primo players.
Yeah. The fact that they called it his redshirt year was just weird to me.
How primo are the Browns going to get at first round? It's still the
but the point that I'm getting at is like they have Jacksonville's pick and they have their own pick. Their own pick is going to be in the top 6. They're going to get one of the blue chip players out of this draft.
Yeah.
Whether that's one of the top wide receivers. They need an offensive lineman. There's a really good one down at University of Miami that would fit great.
Well, I'll tell you one thing they definitely did this week is they convinced Myles Garrett he didn't make the stupidest mistake of his life because he was so impressed with that one throw to Isaiah.
Dude,
Brown.
I saw a graphic right before we came onto the show, and I'm saying this, so hopefully Joe Zolo listens because it's going to sting him so bad, and I'm just going to get a crack out of it. Myles Garrett leads the NFL in sacks with 18.
Yep.
Second place is Myles Garrett over the last 4 games with 13. And next is Brian Burns at 13.
Yeah.
Like, that is how dominant Myles Garrett has been for the last month of the season.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
I put that as one of my legs of a parlay yesterday. And that was Myles Garrett plus 2 sacks. I mean, 2 sacks.
I mean, I was talking like we got so many. There was somebody in our Discord that asked Browns defense versus Packers defense. I was like, look, they're both going against bad offenses, but you tell me Myles Garrett isn't lined up for 5 sacks going against that terrible Raiders. He had 3. I don't feel like I was that far off. And
no, I mean, I think 10. I think you're talking the defense 1 and defense 2, if I'm not mistaken.
You would know better than me, and neither of them scored a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, hold on. I'm almost have it up here.
Well, and as Ryan's looking that up, I'll throw one more log onto your fire. This game could have been so much better for Shedeur if Jerry Jeudy doesn't do Jerry Jeudy.
Somebody has been telling everybody that Jerry Jeudy sucks. Use one of those high picks on a fucking wide receiver. Because good God, they need a dominant number 1.
Packers are the defense one. They're tied with the Rams, who kind of jumped in there and fucked it up for everyone. Browns are defense 5 right now and very standard scoring, but still great week.
The Rams can thank the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for fucking that up for them. Go right ahead, Jerry. Go ahead, Ryan. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's Wan'Dale Robinson. I smiled the entire 1 o'clock games, though it got a little slow for him in the second half. But I smiled just the entire time. 14 targets this week, only behind Michael Wilson for targets, 9 catches. But way more importantly, after last season, Wan'Dale Robinson had kind of become a joke with his yards per catch. I think he was sub 8 last year.
He's sub 9 on his career.
Yeah, sub 8 last year. Well, this season has brought him back above 9, thankfully. 17 yards per catch yesterday, 12 yards per catch on the season. I was all about this kid for PPR formats. He's not scoring touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns this season. It's just the way it goes. The fact of the matter is he looks good. He's still a little guy. Saw him a little banged up towards the end of the game. Not in there to take a beating. But the fact of the matter is he has heart, and he is doing everything he can to make sure the Giants are not the worst team in the NFL.
And I believe he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Ooh, that breaks my heart, actually. I need him there.
He's making himself some money this season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do want to quickly throw out. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. Club Fantasy favorite here. Hello.
John Mechie, welcome back. This is a cancer survivor. Took him some time. Took him to bounce around to a few teams. Ends up with the Jets. Last week, Josh and I don't think I'm throwing Josh out under a limb here, off a limb here, but we kind of forgot when we were all about Adonai Mitchell's audition. Turns out it was John Mechie's audition as well. So in week 11, he goes 3 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. And you're like, well, that's nice. This week, 6 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. He's getting it done all over the field. There's competent quarterback play. John Mechie is now 2 touchdowns this season when he had not managed more than 1 touchdown his entire career up to this point. Hopefully he found a home here. Hopefully there's something he can do. But cancer survivor, bouncing around teams. This is the exact kind of story. This is his first real chance to be something, and he seems to be doing something with it. Very, very, very happy for John Mechie right now.
Love John Mechie.
What's
hate
awesome.
that he's with the Jets, but you know what? If that's going to give him the opportunity for the rest of the league to see what he can do, I'm all about it.
The other part that's awesome about John Mechie is this is his upcoming schedule. Home with Atlanta, home with Miami, at Jacksonville, at New Orleans, and then in week 17, it gets a little rough with New England. But there's a chance that you will not be putting him on.
You could be looking at a league winner.
You could be right there. You could very well be.
That's a league-winning flex schedule right there.
Especially with Tyrod Taylor. Just gonna,
who's actually competent throwing the football.
There we go.
Expect to read about John Mechie tomorrow is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I say that because kind of like the Ricky Pearsall and the Chris Godwin this week, I wanted to give one more week with John Mechie to see what was going to happen. Yes, I understand he had 3 targets, 100%. 3 catches, 45 yards. I held him out again this week, and he goes off on the bench, 20-some-odd points, and I'm sitting there going, damn it.
What I love about John Mechie is he's probably still out there in some of your dynasty leagues for people 100%. Who gave up on him. You might be able to go get John Mechie off dynasty waivers right now.
100%. I kind of went with low hanging fruit here. I know there was some comments in the chat, some comments that I skipped over, and here's why. I went with JSN, 38 plus fantasy points. Here's his line from yesterday: 8 of 10, 167 and 2.
He did all that in like the first half too.
Yeah,
correct. 2 passes, 2 receptions over 50 yards. Both of them, one of them was an actual touchdown. The other one led to his second touchdown, 13 yards. He leads the NFL right now with 1,313 yards on the season. Surpassed DK Metcalf for most receiving yards in a season in Seahawks franchise history. 5th player ever with 1,300 yards through the first 11 games. These guys, Elroy Hirsch, Charlie Hennigan, you don't even know who that is. But Tyreek Hill and Julio Jones are the other 2 players that are on that list. 3rd player in NFL history with at least 75 yards in 11 consecutive games, joining Marvin Harrison Sr. and Cooper Kupp. He accounted for half of Sam Darnold's completions and over 2/3 of Sam Darnold's passing yards on the season.
Wasn't there that game? Yeah, I was going to say there was that game earlier this year where Darnold had like 155 and JSN had 125 of them.
Yeah. It's almost the same as yesterday. Almost the same as yesterday. I'll give you what yesterday was. So I have it pulled up right here. Let me get over to it. Where is it? Sam Darnold yesterday was 16 of 26, 244, and 2 touchdowns. JSN, again, 8 of 10, 167. And
2/3 of his yards.
Exactly, 100%. But it's crazy. Here's a crazy stat for you. Go back to a few weeks ago when they played Arizona. He only had 93 yards. If he would have gotten those 7 more receiving yards, next week he'd be looking to break Calvin Johnson's records for most 100 receiving yards in a row, which currently stands at, I believe it's 8 games.
Yeah.
But he would be trying to break that this next week. But here's the other thing. Keep this in mind. JSN is only 651 yards away from breaking Calvin's receiving records in a season. That record's been held since 2012. 1964 yards. JSN's got 6 games to get 600.
So a little over
yards.
100 yards a game.
Yep.
Seems like insane.
What's crazy is it feels like it's a lock.
Well, and you know what's funny? What was it after like 6 games? We were talking about Puka Nacua breaking this record.
Yep.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Insane. Let's get back over to the chat. I wish those numbers are just absolutely crazy. Trone, I have Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Not sure how to approach this backfield. He has CMC and Barkley as his starters.
I'd be starting Warren over Barkley at this point.
Yeah. I was going to say Warren's the runner, Gainwell's the pass catcher. If you're full PPR, Gainwell deserves flex consideration. Don't forget Gainwell, while Gainwell's numbers are inflated because of Mason Rudolph, that's going to take a small downtick once Aaron Rodgers is back.
Well, and Gainwell also had, I think it was 10 carries for 92 yards this week.
10 carries.
Yeah, I know he broke off like one big run.
Yeah, Warren.
But I mean, really, at the end of the day, you can start these two pretty interchangeably. Like you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, they're both RB2 flex guys.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
One doesn't have to fail for the other to succeed.
Quincy says in his other league, he's in 7th place, needs help at running back. Derrick Henry, Hunt, Tootin, Vidal, Singletary at wide receiver. He's got Myers, BTJ, Higgins, Butte. Would you drop any of these guys for Luther Burden or Slayton or Tillman?
I'm not rushing to get any of these guys.
Nope. Hang on to what you got. You're doing fine.
Yes.
That's the next section.
That's going to hurt. We will talk about that in a minute. Yes, I did ask you about Lamar over Purdy. You told me Lamar all day. Don't think about it.
Yep. Yeah. I'll take that L for sure. That's on me. That's on me thinking Lamar's better than what he was health-wise, not player-wise.
Well, that's the one thing about,
can't do it against the Jets. You got problems.
Yeah,
that's really what it boils down to.
We take the accountability on everything we do, say, and even our betting props. That's why we bring up the record when we do. Zach says, so you're telling me I overpaid getting Mahomes for Knicks and Olave?
Mahomes is QB3.
No. So yeah, Zach, don't hear what we're not saying. We're saying don't waste draft picks on quarterbacks. You traded 2 mediocre assets to get a top 5 fantasy quarterback once he was an established top 5 fantasy.
That's how you do it.
Made this trade. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was confused on what he was talking about, but yes, I understand what he's saying now. Yeah, we're talking about when you drafted. It's not.
Yeah, it's like don't spend a 6th or 7th round pick to get Mahomes.
Actually, I'll rewind. You telling our story for us. You waited and took Bo Nix and turned him into Patrick Mahomes.
That's how you do it.
That's why you wait.
Yep. 100%. Kind of hoping for a miracle. Quincy's got a 111. He has 102 and Bryce Young. Do I pull it off?
So he's 9 points up going against Bryce Young. I think you're probably going to lose. Young isn't going to do what he did last week, but I think he'll have a decent game against the 49ers tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he does what he did last week either, but yes, 49ers D is not that great. Kenny says he's down 13. He's got Pearsall and Tet.
I think as long as you don't get another goose egg from Pearsall, you should be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Dowdle's going to have a good game. I think McMillan's going to have a much
Basically, you need Pearsall to match Dowdle. I think Tetaroa takes care of the 13 for you. So
yep,
That's fair. Fighting solves everything. Should I drop Monty for Terry McLaurin?
Monty is certainly droppable without a doubt.
Get Terry McLaurin.
But yeah, Terry McLaurin's not the guy that I'm rushing to go get. I don't know that Terry McLaurin plays. So
Yeah, he says he's got CMC, Jonathan Taylor, QJ, Henderson, Woody, Monty, Brian Robinson Jr., Puka, Tet, Higgins, and Franklin.
The only thing I would maybe look to do, see if the Gibbs manager wants to handcuff Monty if your trade deadline hasn't passed, which most of them passed last night. So,
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not rushing to do that. I mean, at this point, you're getting more production from Montgomery anyway, but McLaurin's on IR. Like, he's not doing anything for you.
And me and Josh have been saying all along, we do not expect to see Jaden Daniels. We do not expect to see Terry McLaurin this season.
There's no need for it.
No.
All right, let's move over to panic or chill the fuck out. We're going to do this one a little bit different. We're only going to bring up one guy this time. We're this late in the season. We don't need to talk about four guys all over the place. So we're just going to talk about one guy. And unfortunately, this just seems like the bash on J Day. So fuck you guys. Thank you very much. Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver 44 this week. One of his last 6 over 10 points. And now.
Yeah, I did not even realize that. Like, all these start-sit questions. Oh, yeah, Egbuka. One game over 10 points. It was over 20, but everything else has been under 10.
Shit, since week 6, only 2 games over 50 yards.
Yeah. This Bucs offense has been bad.
Well, you can't block anybody.
Hold on a second. I just had a revelation. You guys may already be aware of this. He was 3 for 32 this week with a long reception of 32 yards. That means he had
that was
2 catches for 0 yards.
Nope. He had 1 for a -4.
And then 1 for 4.
1 for 4. My God. Ooh. Yeah,
the only good thing about, and I want to, I've got to laugh at this, right? So right before the game, Matthew Berry puts out that he's putting up a prop that Baker Mayfield longest reception was 35.5, and Matthew went under. And of course, I tweeted at him. I'm like, that doesn't seem fair, but it's basically just kind of making fun at his pick, thinking that, hey, there's no way that this is going to happen. Well, it fucking did.
Yeah,
because that 32-yarder, I don't even think came from Baker.
It came from Teddy Bridgewater. Yep, this is in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so yeah, there is that. So go ahead, Josh. Bash on the Bucs some more. I'll mute myself.
I mean, I'm panicking. I mean, literally, it's in the numbers. Like, I don't so much care that he was wide receiver 44 this week, but just when you look at the last month and a half, especially after how he started this season and why we got so excited about Emeka Egbuka, only 1 game over 10 fantasy points. That's becoming boom or bust territory. That's a wide receiver. That's a high upside wide receiver 2 if things go their way. Plain and simple. That's Rome Odunze.
Oh my God! Now,
I mean, look, I'm as somebody that has both Egbuka and Odunze on quite a few teams. This shit hurts, bro.
I know you're the boss and all, but you got to get the fuck off this screen. You're gonna start comparing him to goddamn. No, fuck no. That'll be the last time I show up on time. Jesus God Almighty! I can't believe you just put the two of them in the same category.
I will say, because obviously I was one who was down on Baker for a few weeks, and he was dealing with a lot of injuries on his team at that point. But looking hard at Egbuka's numbers, and we got caught up on what he did for the first month.
Yep.
And he's taken, and it's not unusual for rookies to take this down step. I don't think this speaks to Emeka Egbuka at all. I think Emeka Egbuka was a better player when Mike Evans was out there and Bucky Irving was out there. And it's hard for a rookie receiver to come in and just immediately take over. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially Emeka Egbuka is not like physically imposing like Justin Jefferson. And so
I wouldn't say Jefferson's physically imposing.
I don't mean necessarily like a physically imposing like Calvin Johnson, but what I'm saying is Justin Jefferson has an athletic profile that nobody else has. He can take over a game. That's not Emeka Egbuka's game. Yeah. Emeka Egbuka beats you more technically than anything else.
My comp for him heading into the season or career, honestly, was Robert Woods.
Yeah. One of the most technical wide receivers we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. So. He's not a dominant wide receiver, but he's somebody that gets the job done, right? But he's better as a complement. And right now, Egbuka is kind of playing out of character because he has to be the wide receiver 1 on this team because Evans is out, Godwin's not healthy. I think next year is when we see true Emeka Egbuka.
Well, and I was going to say this earlier in the show. Yeah, I was going to say it earlier in the show. I don't think Egbuka is going to slide in drafts, but I think we see a massive rebound for Baker Mayfield next year, and I think he's going to be another league.
Oh, he'll be somebody that's a big value next year.
Yeah.
Well, to both of your points, we talk about Egbuka as wide receiver 44 this week, not doing anything over the last few. But this is where you got to remember, like you've already brought up, yes, Mike Evans has been hurt, but this offensive line has gotten shit. They have been getting hurt too as well. But the other side of that, and to make the point even stronger, even after this week, even after the last 5 or 6 games, he's still wide receiver 8 on the season.
That's how good he was.
That's how good he was the first month and a half. Yeah,
100%. But again, I just want to reiterate the point. Yes, he does need that second or that one piece in front of him, whether that's Mike Evans or Chris Godwin or whatever, because he's now getting all the coverage. He's taking, and what's bad is we don't even have a fucking tight end that can catch a ball and not hand it to the next fucking guy or to the defense. Wild. And whatever. But he's got no support.
You mentioned that he's wide receiver 8 on the season. Actually, he's wide receiver 11 in total points, but he's wide receiver 12 in points per game.
Mm-hmm.
So over under, does he finish top 12 rest of the season?
I mean, with Teddy Bridgewater, no, fuck yeah.
Okay, let's go top 15. Do you think he finishes
20.
top 15?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it'll be close.
I'm going to pushing back towards 18, 19, somewhere in that range. And that's only because of what he did in the beginning of the season. Yeah. There's no way this offensive line is going to do anything. K-Dot ain't helping at all anymore. When K-Dot was good, he was blocking.
Hey, guess who's 18, 19 in Romadunze?
Hi, Ryan. We're going to finish this. Anyway, Jesus God Almighty! It's all right. Goodbye, everybody. My team is so bad this week. Even though
that's
to light 50 candles for Pearsall and Tet.
Joseph, you can't be the only person losing with Jahmyr Gibbs this week. No. It sucks, man.
Ooh, God knows. Ken, is time to drop Godwin for Dortch.
You want to talk about who's going to die when Marvin Harrison comes back? It's Greg Dortch. I think Michael Wilson has carved himself out something, not what he has now, but something. Greg Dortch goes into the ether after Marvin Harrison's back. No,
I agree.
Yeah, Millie Mills. Thank you.
Even Watson didn't do all that great this week.
Yeah,
and this we talked about this earlier. They traded him right in perfect time. Yeah, Great job there.
No, perfect time was the person who flipped him into JSN, whoever that was.
Yeah, I think that was Niori.
Yeah. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, I didn't see it was Niori. Yep. That's the dub.
Last place team traded Egbuka for Dowdle. Although the trade is fair, the internet was so up on a bubble team with a position of need. Egbuka got him 6 points, and now Baker is hurt.
This is where people get
Trone, I'm going to put you in the same category as Josh here in a minute, Trone.
But this I like what he brought up here, though. Folks who get so bent out of shape by seemingly fair trades because they perceive it helped one other team. This is the kind of shit that constantly happens in these trades. If it's fair, it's shut the fuck up. And I'm not you, Trone, your league. Shut the fuck up. Like, let the trade go down. I don't care that the last place team is making trades if they're fair trades.
And that's why I hate trade vetoes, because people vote based on, I'm playing so-and-so this week. So no, you can't have that guy. No, that's going to help them beat me or blah, blah. Like, no, like people make trades to improve their team. Yeah. People make fair trades so both teams are being improved upon, right? Or you need a lineup change because things aren't going your way, blah, blah, blah. Like, just shut up. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yeah, that's the bigger thing. No vetoes, number one.
People cry foul all the time because Howie Roseman keeps making all these trades to make Philly better.
Yeah,
what do? They keep fucking trading with him. They're not going to veto every trade. Like, no.
Yeah, no trade, no vetoes on trades. That's ridiculous. And the best kind of trades are trades that perceivably make both teams better.
I love this from Zach. You can trade. I need to tell my league this.
That's funny. And that's something I've really been questioning myself as an analyst this season with the amount of leagues out there that are not doing trades, because we tell so many of our people, great trade bait. The fact of the matter is, if your league doesn't trade, that's a mindset, I'm going to be perfectly honest, that I'm not in tune with, because I am constantly looking to trade.
Same.
And so everything I look at in fantasy is from a trade perspective. We really, as analysts, have to remember, and I hear it way too often, my league doesn't trade. This is a low activity league. That changes a lot about how you have to manage your team. And
Ryan, it's the same thing, like, doing the 8-team and the 14-team mock drafts. Like, maybe because we don't play in a ton of leagues that are that small or that large, that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that are like that. And the same thing goes for waivers. We talk about it with waivers. Is your team rolling waivers? Is it inverse order of standings? Is it fab? Like, there's all those different aspects of it. It's the same thing with trades. Not every league is going to trade. Some people just want to sit on the team that they drafted, make their waiver moves, and that's it, because there's plenty of people that just don't understand how to properly value players in trade. So trading makes them nervous.
Then they'll play best ball.
There's that. But I think the biggest hurdle for trades is people's fear that I'm trading away the best piece.
Yeah. And there's that too, because there's a lot of sharks out there that when they offer trades, it's because they're trying to get the best of the deal. Like, they're trying to lowball play. And look, I've been that guy, and there's plenty of times where I'm still that guy. But, shut up. But, like, I don't do it as often in Dynasty, because I know that if somebody's playing in a Dynasty league, they're probably thinking along the same lines that I am. Like, I might lowball like this instead of lowball like this, because I don't want to pay max value. But, like, I'm going to have a range in my head of, all right, this is the high point of what I'm willing to go to. But this is where I think that, all right, maybe if I can get this done, I feel like I kept an extra piece for me or something like that.
Josh, you and I just had this happen in one of our leagues. Josh sends me a trade offer, and I responded with a counter. And Josh's response was, I was going to send this first. This exact counter that I sent him, he automatically accepts.
Yeah.
Because it was I understand where Josh was at, trying to grab the guy, didn't want to give up the piece that he should, but he wasn't giving me a bad piece. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he said, it was this far off. It wasn't this far off. Yeah, so
I'm going to quickly throw a chart up here. I'm not even going to lie. I don't normally freak out about the shit I say on this show. Even I was like, that came out super harsh. So I know you're having fun, Tro, but
we telling him shut the fuck up.
That's my bad, bro.
That's right. Let's get over to the last of these comments real quick. Jay, you can have Kyle Pitts next season since Otten.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, I'll do that.
Linking your Gators with your Bucs. There you go.
I will say.
I will do that. Listen, look at what he did for your team against New Orleans. Where is he at here? Another 25-yard game. Great job.
Yeah. I will quickly throw out, though, the announcers have finally turned on Pitts a little bit. I noticed it in this past game after he had the drop. They're like, I don't care how much talent this kid is. If he doesn't start catching the ball, it's like, well, what do you mean start? How long of a leash are we giving Kyle Pitts?
4 years.
Yeah, clearly.
With Mayfield gone, who's in the worst situation? Trey Tucker or Tez Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah, right. At least Tucker is the wide receiver 1?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
I'll say Tez because he's further down the depth chart, but
if I had to choose which one of these two guys I'm starting, I'll roll with Tucker. I knew this was going to be a shit week against the Browns. So.
Listen, as the Buck fan, I will tell you this. If Baker is out for any extended period of time, there is no reason to bring Mike Evans back this year. Nope. There's no reason. You may as well throw Tez out there. You may as well throw.
That's a good point.
And again, it's what we talked about with one of the other teams. It's the Saints and Devin Neal. Like, this is evaluation season. The Bucs are kind of getting to that point, but
Jay, let me ask
they're at least a competing team and they have a veteran backup. So like, they're still going to go for it. So it's not so much evaluating a rookie in Tez because he's already proven that he's got talent. He can play.
So does Johnson. But the other side of that coin is with Jamel Dean out, Zion McCollum is not a cornerback 1, not in the fucking least. He's not a cornerback.
Real quick, Jay. Any chance, and then maybe not now, but because I was excited that this could happen until Baker got hurt. Any chance Jalen McMillan sees the field this season?
I did see yesterday a picture. Now, it's not 100% sure that it was Jalen McMillan, but he was on the sideline in street clothes without the neck brace.
Okay.
If it was Jalen McMillan, he was on, without the neck brace. So that was a good sign.
Yeah. Again,
I don't know that it was him because, of course, the picture was taken from a good distance away. But
yeah,
the person that took the picture also thought it was Jalen McMillan. So I don't even, look, with his.
I mean, if he's just now taking a neck brace off, his ass ain't getting on the field.
Well, with as bad as that injury was, why would you even risk it? That's just let him rest.
Because he's on my 32 team and I need some hope right now, Jay.
Well, you'll still be on your 32 team next year.
Ryan has been very vocal. He does these shows to improve himself in
exactly.
fantasy.
100%. Joseph says he had a trade go down where the bubble team traded away Drake London and Joe Flacco for Wandell, RJ Harvey, and Dobbs, and the amount of outrage for allowing that to go through is insane.
Yeah. Guess what? They ain't on the bubble anymore after Wandale Robinson, baby.
Yeah, and Drake London is out and could miss multiple weeks. So
yeah.
Zach says he's going to cut his bench spots down to 4 with no IR, add it fab, and hopefully boost trades next year.
So I will throw out there, my home league is a 14 team with only 5 bench spots. You have to trade. The waivers are shit in this league. If you're getting your team better,
say our flexible
trades.
league is pretty small
similar.
bench spots, but nobody ever trades.
Well, you want to talk about how you ruin trades. Another way, get rid of flex spots. The fewer flex spots, the more trades you'll see. We have a league that is all flex spots. Great for casual fantasy players.
Yeah.
Terrible for trades.
Yeah. The other way you can do it is put positional limits.
That's a great point as well. So people aren't stashing. Yep.
So you're not able, if you have 2 wide receivers and 2 flex spots, you're only allowed to carry 5 wide receivers. Now that fucking sucks because, at certain times of the year, 3 of those guys may be on bye, but at the same time, your waiver wire, can be loaded as well, but it also forces people to go pick up wide receiver 4s.
I think that's where I've been spoiled. I can't even. Now, the other thing we do is, even though it's a keeper league, so I allow next year's draft picks to be traded. Only 1 year. I still want it to feel like a redraft league, but I allow next year's and the trades. I've been spoiled my whole life. My home league is 19 years in, and it has been a trade-happy league from the day we started this league. So,
yeah, he says there's been 1 trade, and he started.
I was thinking I have an ESPN local league where I might be the only trade this whole season. So.
Let's get to Monday Night Football. The gambles that are Monday Night Football. Panthers are going to win by 6. 49ers are going to lose. Panthers are going to take over the NFC South, probably win the Super Bowl. So that's all you need to know. Goodbye.
Go over.
Don't forget to use promo code WOFF. Claim your free pick and first-time deposit. Again, the Panthers are at the 49ers, over under of 49.5, and the Niners are favored by 7. Overall on the year, I'm 23-17, 2-1 again last week. Still continuing on this 10-2 run over the last 4 weeks. And I know Josh has said he's going to have a bad day, but I'm going Rico Dowdle. Higher than 16.5 receiving yards since week 5. Dowdle has hit this number in every game except 2. Week 9 versus Green Bay, he had 11 yards. And in week 10 versus New Orleans, he had 10. 49ers rank 18th in fantasy points per game allowed to the running backs this season. They're injured-riddled defense, ranking 21st in fantasy points to running backs over the last 4 weeks. You can see the rest of my 4-legger this week. 4 legs this week going in our Discord as soon as the show is over. Ryan, you got a prop for tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go Tetero McMillan. We've been talking about him all show. I like him a lot this week. 49ers are not great against wide receiver. They set the line at 65.5 receiving yards. I'm good with that number. I might even like the 11.5 fantasy points better than the 65 receiving yards because they do have PPR on these scoring. So all you need to do is find the end zone, which I think there's a good chance. When you look at what the Niners have done against wide receivers, Michael Wilson went off. Greg Dortch scored a touchdown in that game. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams Puka Nacua missed the yardage by 1 yard, 64 yards, but they both scored touchdowns. Gunnar Olszewski in week 9 scored a touchdown. Xavier Hutchinson, Jaden Higgins scored a touchdown. So if you're in I know there's some where they either don't let you do fantasy points. If you're in a market where you can do fantasy points, I think the 11.55 is a really fair number, but 65 and a half.
Keep in mind that is half PPR on underdog.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Okay. So if you get the touchdown, all you need is 5 fantasy points from that point, 6 fantasy points. So I like that one, but 65 and a half yards, he doubled that up last week. I think he's good for half of that this week.
I got 2. One of them is straight vibes. I pushed it up on CMC. For 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Revenge game.
It's I don't know. I just think like seeing Gibbs go do what he did. I think it's one of those like, hey, just remember I'm still here kind of thing. And he really is. He's the driving force with this San Francisco offense. They need to keep pace. We saw it with the NFC North this week. Bears win, Packers win, Lions squeak one out. The top 3 in that division hold steady. That's kind of what's going on in the West right now with everybody jockeying behind the Rams. Seattle held on against Tennessee. 49ers need to do their part at home. So I think that the way that they do that, they've got to get the ball into the hands of their best player, and that's CMC. I think 2 touchdowns here. It's juiced up 1.16, so that'll help your parlays here. Again, complete vibes pick. Carolina's defense has played really well, but they're going cross-country. So curious to see how that plays out. But my line for actual research purposes, I'm going Xavier Legette higher than 23.5. I get it. He's been very hit or miss this season. Feels like every time he does one good week, falls back to earth and whittles a little bit. But you can throw on San Francisco. They allow the second most fantasy points to wide receivers since week 7. And it wouldn't surprise me if Carolina struggles running the football. I mentioned this earlier in the show. San Francisco has only allowed 82 rushing yards per game to running backs since week 7. If CMC and this 49ers offense gets going, this is going to be a negative game script, and they're going to have to throw the football. That pass rush hasn't really been as good this season as typical San Francisco pass rushes have, but they're going to put pressure on Bryce Young, and he's got to be able to get the ball out. Xavier Legette tends to run more of those underneath routes, so I think 23.5 is pretty doable. And I think his catch line is only 2.5 as well. Jay, you're muted.
Yeah, I because I'm nervous at this point. All 3 of us went with receiving props for Carolina. Yeah. This makes me really nervous. So I believe if we were to put this as a show prop, we'd probably go 0-4.
Yeah,
because CMC's going to get his 1 touchdown for sure. Right. And then something's going to happen.
Look, at the end of the day, bet the 1 at least. That's a gimme. So
yeah.
Well, I wanted to bring it up because
Josh is way better at 2 touchdown predictions than I am.
He's actually CMC's only had 3 games this year with multiple touchdowns, which is
make it 4.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. I just don't like that we all went with receiving.
Yeah, we're definitely predicting a lot of throwing tonight.
After we all agreed that Bryce Young is still going to be good, he's just not going to have a 400 yard. If we could say he's going to have a 400 yard receiving or passing game, we definitely are hitting these props.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. We'll get to the last couple of questions here, but make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are following us on any and every podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, or whatever one you currently use. Make sure you are joining us over in the Discord. Josh has dropped that link yet again into the chat. Burley's on a 6-game win streak. Continues with Diggs doing nothing.
Yeah, it's basically the story of my home league.
Diggs or Tet moving forward. I think this is a pretty clear answer.
McMillan. Yeah, it's Tetero McMillan. If you're not getting done against Cincinnati, I'm done with you. Plain and simple. Like, yeah, you might find a flex spot next week because of if I have a weird bye week, but for the most part, or not next week, but week 14. I don't think there's any bye in 13. But
now I think is there a week 14? Yeah, there's no buys in week 13.
Yeah,
week
2 in week 14.
Is the buys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that to keep in mind as well. Make sure you are jumping in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Catch Josh and Ryan on Wiretapped. Right. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everything we do is at 11 a.m. it seems like. And then, of course, tomorrow evening at 10 p.m., join Sam Holt and Derek Tate on the Women of Fantasy Football Sideline Banter. as they head and look ahead at week 13. Josh, Ryan, anything else to add going forward for today?
See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, baby.
For Josh, for Ryan, I am Gator, and we are